Hello and welcome back to the Little Craft House. I recently got myself a new little toy, this Fimo Alphabet Letter set, and I thought I would just open it up with you guys and have a bit of a play with it. I've actually wanted one of these for quite some time and I've been waiting for it to become available on the Australian market, which it now has, and so we're also now stocking it in our store. And so I've got a few little projects in mind that I would like to use this for. So if you stick around to the end, I think that we might work on some little plant labelling stakes. I think that'll be fun. So yeah, let's get into opening it up and have a closer look at it. Okay, so as a first glance, I can see that all of the letters are capitals. There's also a range of numbers and some cool looking symbols. Because these are quite small, it's a little tricky to work out what some of them are, but hopefully it'll be a bit clearer when I can push them into some clay. The pack also has this little red holder on the side. That's for holding the letters for when you're using them. And on the back here is some instructions, which also shows how you use that holder. Okay, so let's get into opening it up. I'm just going to try to slide my finger under the edge here and just pull it apart. And so I have this little storage box here, which I thought would be perfect for storing all the letters in. That was a good trick shot there. The holder fits perfectly as well. That was just a coincidence because I did think it might just have to sit on the top. Now, these letters aren't just pull apart. You're going to need some scissors. So sharp scissors to cut along and separate each of the letters. I did find this a little bit tricky, I suppose just because it's kind of thick plastic and my scissors probably weren't the sharpest. That's one of those little symbols I was talking about. It's a little email symbol or little letter envelope, which I'm assuming you would use for email. Just trying to slide it into the holder here. Having a little bit of trouble. Pretty sure this is user error, not product error. All I needed to do was trim down right to the edges of the letter. So hot tip for you there, as you're cutting it out, just trim it right down to those edges because that will make it easier to slide in. Also getting the right angle also helps. So it's a little bit of a tight fit, which isn't a bad thing because it means that the letters aren't just going to loosely fly around and fall out as you're moving the holder around. So I'm just going to chop up the rest of my letters now. I might put this into fast motion for you so that you're not watching a painfully slow chopping session. Just going to have a little quick play around with the letters. So I pulled out the letters for the words good vibes, and I just thought I will try and slide these into the holder and see how it goes printing it into the polymer clay. And don't forget when loading your holder with the words that you need to start at the end of the word so that when you're printing it down, the word's going in the right direction, if that makes sense. Also remembering about the direction that the letters face as well, because they're going to be, you don't want them to be backwards, which, as you can see here, which I did not see at the time, the D is actually backwards. But you'll notice that when I print it out onto the clay here. So I just rolled my clay normal thickness, just sort of 3mm thickness, nothing too deep. You can go deeper if you like with these because you are pressing in. On the holder, make sure that you're getting a good even pressure on it, and I always give it a kind of little wiggle as well just to try and make sure that it has indented enough. As you can see from here, I obviously put more pressure on the beginning of the holder because the word good is in deeper than the word vibes. Yes, that D is back to front, so I need to change that, but otherwise the letters do come out pretty clear. And yeah, it does look pretty good. So I'm quite happy with that and how that's worked. I do think though that I may actually prefer just stamping the letters individually. I think it's just going to be quicker, and that way I can control the pressure for each letter individually as well. So yeah, I think in future I may just use it by hand, just individually like this, rather than using the holder. But the holder's there in case I've got a big long word or doing multiple prints. That would also come in handy, especially because of the straightness of it, and also to keep the consistent spacing of between the letters as well. Okay, so here I just thought I would do a quick little run of all of the symbols that were included. So these would be really handy if you're doing things like, yeah, you're adding your email or your phone number. There's a cute little love heart, little star, a few different symbols, including this, what looks to be a skull. Skull and crossbones. I think that's a really weird thing to have in here. I can't work it out to be anything different other than skull and crossbones, but anyway, I would have preferred a hashtag, to be honest. Being so frequent on social media, a hashtag would have come in a lot more useful for me, but that's okay. There's a skull and crossbones in case I need that instead. But yeah, there's quite a few different ones. They'll come in fun and handy at times. There is a couple of math symbols, so I was hoping here that the equals going in two different directions may make myself a hashtag, but it doesn't work out as clear, so that's okay. I'll do without a hashtag, no big deal. Okay, so I just wanted to quickly show you all of the symbols, just because I suppose this is what makes this set different to other sets that I've seen before, because they don't have these symbols in it. So yeah, just thought I would quickly demonstrate that. And then I'm going to pack it all away, pop it to the side, and we can get on with our fun plant marker project. Okay, so as usual, I have 1,000,001 scrap bits of clay around my studio, so I thought this would be a great project to use them up in. So I've just grabbed all similar colours. There's some granity colours, some peaches, some pinks, creams. You can see all those sort of things. They all coordinate with each other, so they go nicely together. I'm just going to chop them all up into small little pieces, and then I'm going to mush them all together to make a swirly, marbly style effect. So you just want to make sure that you're squeezing it all together, getting out any of the air that may be trapped inside of it, just giving it a bit of a twist to make all the colours mix together. I don't want this to be too thin, so I'm just kind of going by hand. I'm going to chop it down more even afterwards, but I'm going to chop this in half to reveal the internal pattern, which looks quite good. I like that, it's pretty. We'll put that other piece aside. I'm just going to work on one for now. Yeah, I don't want this too thick, but I also don't want it too thin because it's going to have to go into a plant pot. And now to find the letters. This can be a little bit challenging. They're all looking very similar, very tiny, but that's okay. I'll sort through and find all the letters that we need. Now, I'm not sure if I've already apologised for this, but the lighting in my studio today is absolutely terrible. It is a cold and miserable day outside, so there's no sunshine coming through. So I've got the overhead light on, which kind of creates shadows and things. Not the best, but yeah, sorry about that. I decided that I'm just going to press the letters in by hand instead of using the red bar. This way I feel like I can just get a better pressure onto the letters. So once I've finished here pressing all my words in, I'm just going to trim down the sides to make it squared off. I don't want it to be too wide, so I'm thinking just over 1 centimetre wide. I'm just going to go flat across the top. I didn't really leave enough space to make it nicely rounded. And then just creating a bit of a point on the bottom so that that's going to be able to stick into the plant pot once it's baked. Right, and there we go. So Drama Queen. Got a few plants that this will suit perfectly. Okay, so time to pop these in the oven and get them all baked up and cured. Righty-o, there we go. So I've got a Not Dead Yet and I've got 2 Drama Queens. I've got my little plant area here in my kitchen. So these are the plants that are going to get the stakes. Anyone who's owned one of these lilies knows how much they are a Drama Queen. So there you go. That one is for you. And then I've got a palm here. Oh, look at that leaf. I've got a palm here at the back, which I am quite proud of that it's not dead yet. So he's getting that one. And I'm not going to show you the plant at the back. That is a Super Drama Queen who's getting the other Drama Queen stake. Yeah, he's looking pretty bad, so I'm not going to show you him. But there we go. That's our little crafty project with our Fimo Letter stampers. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more crafty projects.